girlfriend, 20, told me, 21, I have a small DCK compared to her ex-BFs. Hello guys and girls, my girlfriend of 4 months and me started getting intimate, step by step, so we haven't had sex yet, but she allows me to finger her although she doesn't reciprocate. It kinda bothers me, but all she has done to me was basically touching me down there for a couple of seconds and that's it. I talked to her why she hesitates and her reason was that she wasn't ready yet, which is absolutely understandable. Now I found out that she had sex with her ex right on the first date, which kinda feels weird to me. She's my first girlfriend and she also knows that I'm a shy person, especially when talking about intimate stuff since it is new to me. I know her ex is her past and I should never compare her previous relationship to ours. I have never done that, but 1 week ago after she touched me down there she suddenly told me, by the way, your dick is tiny compared to the other guys. Now I know size doesn't matter, but her being my first girlfriend and me being shy about this topic as it is new to me, made me feel like the biggest piece of shit. I showed no reaction because I was overwhelmed by this statement of hers. But now I start getting mad at her, like real mad, because she wants to wait to become more intimate with me, which is okay to me as I don't want to make her do something she feels not ready for yet. But this statement was so degrading. We already had a couple of fights in the past. Do you think I am just insecure or is it something to worry about? No decent human would compare the size of someone's dick with their ex's, just like no decent human would compare the size of their girlfriends and their ex's boobs. What really bugged me is the use of the word tiny. Opt seems like a mature guy and he is riddled with these shitty thoughts over something they have no control over. I am going to tell him to break it off with her. And I've only ever done that one other time on Reddit. I tend to think most issues can be worked out. This cannot. This is a cardinal sin for any adult having, or thinking about having, sex in a committed relationship. Why? Because now not only are you concerned about size, but you will forever be concerned with whether your performance, or refractory period, or stamina measure up. This isn't her making a statement about what she enjoys sexually, PIV, oral, digital dexterity, toys, whatever. This was a person-to-person comparison that is inexcusable, rude, demeaning, and frankly emasculating. Seriously, what is one thing a man cannot change? And she quite literally took a shot below the belt? Question mark. So seriously, change the girl. Do not allow this woman to take any more pot shots to your psyche. Bigger is not always better. Average size with a willingness to satisfy every time. That's what you need to be and find a woman who wants you as you are. I'm so pissed on your behalf. I hope you show her this post in the comments. Hopefully she sees just how shitty and uncalled for her behavior is before you show her the door. She either has the social awareness of a potato or she is intentionally putting you down to establish some sort of dominance over you. You deserve way better than that kind of treatment. I'm a female and I would prefer to die rather than to compare my boyfriend's dick to my ex's. It's an horrible thing to do. My boyfriend's ex has really big boobs, while mine are maybe a third of hers. I was a bit insecure about that at the beginning of our relationship and he said that it really doesn't matter the size and he loves my boobs for how they are. If in that moment he would have flat out agreed with me and said that with a disappointed tone of voice, I don't know where our relationship would have gone. I need to know that for my partner I'm perfect as I am, and he's not thinking about how I could be instead or what I am not. Agreed. It's one thing to talk about sexual experiences that you've had either to illustrate what you're comfortable with or not and why you like what you like. My BF and I have talked about past sexual experiences and shared stories, but it should never come from or go to a place of comparison to other partners. That is super unhealthy and damaging to a relationship. This sounds like the beginning of being emotionally abused. I am also on the breakup boat. He shouldn't let his first romantic experience be a bad one. It will set the tone for future relationships when they inevitably break up. I feel the same way. I don't know what any of my partner's exes look like, but from what he's mentioned at least one of them had really big breasts. Meanwhile I'm riding hard with a set of 34Bs lol. At first this made me feel self-conscious, but he's constantly reassured me that he loves the way that I look. If my partner had reacted differently, I also don't know if I would have dated him. I know my worth. Yes, I would never talk to my boyfriend about sexual experiences from previous relationships. Neither of us were virgins and we know that, but no reason to go into any detail or comparisons. My ex had a very large penis and it was awful. I never enjoyed sex with him because it was painful. Sex with my current boyfriend is amazing. Bigger does not equal better. Even though sex with my boyfriend is 1000x better than with my ex, I still wouldn't tell him that. Especially since a lot of guys insecure about size. There is no reason to tell your current partner about what sex was like with the previous partner. It usually just leads to insecurity and hurt feelings. For what it's worth, guys aren't hung up on boobs as much as some women can get hung up on penis size. Big boobs really add nothing to the act of sex itself. It's not like it makes sex feel better or anything. Additionally, it's not like you can hide what you have, or don't have. So if a guy is into you, you can rest assured he's fine with your boobs. A guy who's into big boobs isn't going to approach you if that's a deal breaker, so you don't have to worry about surprise disappointment. On the other hand, a guy's penis size isn't as easily broadcast, so there's a mystery there until you get intimate, which makes it all the more upsetting if things are seemingly going great and a girl breaks it off when she sees what you're packing. Yeah, well, you're a cunt compared to other girls. I'm gonna tell you something you don't want to hear. She's probably fucking her ex behind your back. Anyone who would say some callous, hurtful shit like that doesn't care about you. She only cares about her. And the fact that she's comparing your size to his means she's thinking about his, at the very least, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's fucking him. She sounds like a real piece of shit. Pardon my bluntness, but you need to hear this, and you also need to leave her and never, and I mean ever, give anyone who talks to you that way a chance ever again. I think everyone has answered the statement point. You know what to do, but just going forward, most of the time if a girl has sex with some guys on a first date but makes you wait months on end, she is probably not that attracted to you. If they are attracted to you, they will jump at the chance to have sex with you. You don't have to try and make anything happen. They will actively put themselves in situations to have sex with you. I wouldn't get into this situation again. Your GF is straight up mean and an asshole for saying something like that. I think you need to find someone else. That kind of statement is a massive red flag. I think it reveals some very unsavory personality traits. Now I know size doesn't matter. I can't let this statement go. This whole concept really bugs me because it's always about the guy's size and never about the woman. Just like penises, vaginas come in different sizes. The reason you hear size doesn't matter so much is because for most women, it isn't. Likely because they have average-sized vaginas, so penises a bit below the bell curve and a bit above will be totally fine, which would be the vast majority of penises, and certainly not enough of a change to outweigh all of the other factors that go into good sex: attraction, love, sounds, movement, etc., etc. But size does matter for some women, and it's not always bigger is better. Some women prefer average or smaller penises, and some prefer larger ones. It very likely corresponds to vagina size, although it's not going to be 100% correlation, but it would certainly make sense that women with larger vaginas would feel more physical pleasure from a larger penis and vice versa. Doctor, size usually doesn't matter, but it does for some. Sounds like an XGF now to me, but in all seriousness, that is a horrible thing to say and you have every right to be angry. I would personally break up with her because she sounds really inconsiderate. That's such an unnecessary thing to tell you because you can't change that about yourself. The only reason someone would say such a thing is to purposefully put you down and make you feel bad about yourself. I hope you don't have sex with this person. You sound like a really sensitive and caring person. I know you can do better. You know you can do better. Be patient. Size is nothing. I'm not just saying that. My husband is 7 inches, and if it were a couple inches smaller I'd never worry about my cervix being bruised to hell. Last night I thought I needed to go to the hospital during COVID. This would have been pure entertainment to the staff, to see if my ass plug ruptured my ass because the cramping and pain was so bad. I couldn't comprehend it just being my cervix. But it was. I get physically sick from his penis bumping my cervix. Size isn't anything, it's how you use it. There's a reason that saying exists. Your GF needs to get off her high horse and find ways to be kinder to people in life, otherwise she will be a lonely and miserable person her entire life. Don't make this relationship be a longer life lesson than it needs to be. Dude, she sounds very immature. You seem much more mature from what you've said and so deserve someone who treats you with respect and dignity. My advice would be to tell her what you've said here in an open and honest conversation to get to the bottom of why she's being like this, or just move on. Your shout. Good luck. Don't take it personally. Relationships are a minefield and everyone is different. Good speed. It's beyond obvious she doesn't love you if she not only disrespects you like that but also has such an aversion to touching you. You do well to consider the possibility of her just using you as a rebound. Fall back if she's showing such a complete disregard for you 4 months into the relationship. It seems to me you're being played for a fool. You may be able to move forward, but this is pretty cold. I worried about the same thing when I heard a story from my GF about some dude from her past with a monster dick. Eventually when I brought it up she told me your dick is perfectly big enough for me. I don't know. Man, if she had brought it up like your GF did, I don't think I could stay with her. https://www.youtube.com/watch V equals HC9sit3 channel Dr. Amani. Here is a good place to start. I learned a lot from this channel and dug deeper from there. Feel free to message, reply to me with cues. What she did was attack your core self-worth. It has nothing to do with the size of your junk, bro. The crux is that between the average, good person there is a moral line that each is unwilling to cross. People with empathy inherently feel and know this. It gets a bit psychological, but lack of sexual reciprocation and hurtful words like that hint and a lack of empathy and some sadism. Listen to your anger, process it. What were you actually mad about? You're mad about the line she crossed. She overstepped your boundary. Good learning moment. Reflect. What boundary did she cross for you? Ask yourself, and let me tell you, as a man with a slightly smaller than average penis size, that you don't even need your dick to make a woman have the sexual roller coaster of her life. Put that mindset behind you. There is a very big world of pleasure out there. The workaround. I got my GF a dildo that is considerably bigger than my dick. It actually comes out of the drawer a lot less frequently than you'd expect. Anyway, sexual deviation aside. Your girlfriend may not realize the damage she's doing with her comments, but they are very degrading. She sounds like a size queen. She's entitled to her preference, but body shaming isn't acceptable or healthy. Be honest with her and tell her how you feel. Chances are she might not be receptive, because she seems immature, but her reaction will tell you how to move forward. If she can be self-reflective and understand not to compare you to others or degrade you, great. If she doesn't accept her behavior as offensive and puts the blame on you or calls you overly sensitive, she's a gaslighter. Move on. You're young and you have time to find someone that will accept you for who you are. Yikes, my guy. She hasn't had sex with you yet, but fucked someone else on the first date? Lumphow, I'd be out there real quick. If she found you attractive, she'd have fucked you just like she fucked the other guy. Maybe not in the first date or week, but 4 months. Come on, man. Find someone who's actually into you. This girl ain't it. She dense, dude. You deserve better as someone who's so concerned for their partner's wants and needs. First, relationships are important and defining in life. Don't build a foundation on someone like this. I'm a pretty sensitive dude, so I can relate to giving too much to someone who just doesn't have that same sensitivity. Remember, you are in a relationship with yourself too. And letting someone put you down just as a random point to make in passing is just going to teach you to tolerate in the future. Okay, let's unpack this empirically here. You guys are relatively young. I'm not implying you are immature, just young in Earth years. She's only 21 years old. Realistically, does she know what tiny is in terms of dick size? Unless she just happened to get some King Kong megacock right out of the gate. My senses tell me your dick might not be tiny but just the average size that most of us walk around with every day. Regardless of whether you have a small penis or you are walking around with a tree limb between your legs, that is a shitty thing to say to somebody. I can't imagine a girlfriend that knows you are his first girlfriend saying something that insensitive. Now I ain't saying you react like this. I would, but I am recognized as a sarcastic asshole by friends, family and loved ones. I would say, how would you feel if I told you every dress you own makes you look fat? Whether that is true or not, saying you have a small penis sure sounds harsh when you put yourself in the receiver of such harsh statements' shoes. You know, I don't know how you want to react to this, but at age 20, a girlfriend that makes you self-conscious about a body part you can't really change. Not so sure how I would continue in this relationship. As a woman, size isn't that important. My first boyfriend was definitely larger than my husband is, but I've never orgasmed before I started having sex with my husband. He is so much better at sex. He is loving and kind to me. Like, not everything is all about pound town hardcore all the time. That shit hurts. Especially in my situation, I am very small in size down there, so it was always painful. My husband is able to make me feel good and orgasm. He takes his time to love me first. It's great. Smaller size is better. Dude, she's obviously a selfish person. Get out of there. She might not be ready, which is indeed totally acceptable, but she's letting you finger her. Her lack of reciprocating is about your dick size. Size queens can be kinda assholes to smaller guys. I'm not knocking the fact that they live massive dicks. I'm knocking how they treat men in your situation subhuman because of it. It's not any different from you looking at her stomach and saying, BTW, you're way fatter than my ex. Like, why would you fucking say that to someone you're supposed to be building a relationship with? Don't feel bad. I'm fairly average and have never had any complaints. I've only had 2 friends with monster dicks, and both of their girlfriends openly talked about how they only last 5 pumps, and then they're done. It's not about size. It's about learning your lover. Whether you're with a woman or a man, you need to learn your lover. Talk openly about what you want and what they want. My current girlfriend had no idea I was into bondage for a long time. I was too scared to talk to her about it. Eventually I did, and we tried it together. Now we barely even have vanilla sex. Just find you someone nicer. If she's treating you like this now, it's only gonna get worse. If she felt the need to tell you that right then and there, it's because she was comparing you to other lovers, which is unacceptable. I couldn't imagine comparing a guy or girl I'm about to hook up with to somebody else. That's just fucked. Insecurity about dick size is not the problem. Someone comparing you to other people's size and saying blatantly that you have a tiny dick is such a big problem. I'm going to venture to guess that your dick is not tiny, but she is just an ignorant person. But her ignorance is not an excuse because she commented on your size and painted it in a bad light, which is inappropriate and unacceptable. I think you should take it at a snail's pace. Or better, don't ever let her touch you. There are sometimes people who expect men to deal with insults to their body because that's the manly thing to do. She is the sort of person that will leech over to every area of her personality, either making you hurt her or she will hurt you. I would leave the relationship in a very mature way where you mention her lack of empathy and make it clear that her heartlessness is the reason, not your ego being hurt. No, you shouldn't compare relationships, but if she was willing to sleep with him right away and not you, that's a bit of a red flag. Her comment was uncalled for and disrespectful. If mirror were done and you body shamed her, it would be grounds for her leaving. I know this may be your first relationship, but I would end it. If she is willing to be this disrespectful in the beginning, it's only downhill once she gets to know you.